Hey guys, Deli here, and let's get to the first ever Deli League podcast. In the background, you're gonna see some Madden 19 gameplay of me just making Carlos Stark and then simulating him in Madden 19, because he just retired. And if we do this again, I'll do like Clint Wright or like Connor Berger, because they're Hall of Famers. Alright, so let's get right to it. I'm gonna go to my story questions first. I have three sets of questions. I don't know how many of them are gonna be the same, which I expect a solid amount of them. So the first question by the Sandstorms owner is what future teams? I think he's asking what future teams are like the best set for a dynasty. Um, well, the Sandstorms are definitely one in the future. I mean, obviously the Canines and Cotton Pickers are still in great position to continue their reign. The Monarchs are in pretty solid like to win this year at least. The Monarchs a lot of 1 year contracts left on there, but they had some huge signings in the offseason. They might be the favorite right now, to be honest. Um, Sandstorm's got to be up there too. But as like low key teams go, I mean the Sparks and the Marauders are headed in the right direction for sure. And just because Alberts took over the Venom, you can't count them out, even though they had a really bad offseason. The next question is, will I be a future Hall of Famer? And that's from Damon Hartsuff, and he's definitely on the path to. He made the Pro Bowl game or the Deli Bowl game as a rookie. He was the ninth one in, but the fan vote knocked him up to eighth over Damian David, so he ended up getting in. And to be honest, his numbers were good enough to get in basically any year. It's just that it was a really strong wide receiver class that year. Next, how will Tyler Master do? I mean, he's on pace to be a 99 at this point, and he's another guy who's just dominated since day one. He's made the Deli Bowl both years. I think he's been an All-Pro. He was an All-Pro for the first time last year, which is pretty high expectations, being that there's only like two wide receivers that make the All-Pro per year. So he's definitely on a high pace. He's probably the second best receiver in the league right now, if not third. I mean, him and Allen Knight are very close. Allen Knight, of course, is on the Canines at the moment. And then what team will be the next dynasty? That's from Tyler Master, but I already addressed that question. But maybe I think of another like low key team. What team is like just ownership wise could be it? Besides, and I mean, I kind of already answered that because I said the Venom. What team has the best chance of winning this Deli Super Bowl this year? That's from Jacob Tarter and Devon Tarter, the Tarter brothers. I would say the best odds right now gotta be. I mean, it's Cotton Pickers or Monarchs, and then in that conference, and then it would be Canines and Sandstorms in the West Conference. So those four are all in the mix. I would say. I mean, that's really the four contenders. There really aren't many other true contenders out there. There are teams that have good rosters to pull off upsets, but to really go on title runs would be tough for most of those teams. So yeah, those four are your title contenders. I mean, I don't know about the Sparks yet. They're interesting. Um, not gonna answer that question. And then David Long Jr. said, will David Long Jr. be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and thoughts on his new contract. So I didn't post because I'm lazy, but he had a 6 year, $200 million deal re-signing with the Dimes, the ex-defensive player of the year. Probably will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. At least he's on the pace to, assuming he stays active. He'll have a Hall of Fame worthy career. Right now is definitely the front runner to win Defensive Player of the Year, with Max Jackson close behind, and obviously Xander Kano is a contender. But yeah, his new contract's absolutely insane. It's the highest paid defensive contract of all time, beating out Jesus O'Daygold's 10-year, $200 million deal. So, and it's only second highest ever to Jacob Peters, which is obviously good names to be around. So yeah, David Long Jr. is definitely in the right direction, and him being loyal is definitely gonna be key for him being in the Hall of Fame. Even if he doesn't win, at least he has reasoning why he didn't win in that case. So Hall of Fame for sure. I mean, I don't see a way he doesn't make it. So that's done with the story questions. I'm gonna go to my post right now and check that out. By the way, I'm making Carlos Stark at this point. I'm using his actual application. I didn't check height and weight though. Everything else though is accurate with the application. I forgot to pull up height and weight when I did this, so I didn't want to go back and restart or take 50 years to find it. So, on to the questions. Tyler Masters future, and that's the same question. Will Sandstorms make another Super Bowl soon? Probably. Assuming they keep their pieces together in the next 5 years, I'd be absolutely stunned if they didn't make one at least. I mean, their team is kind of stacked. I mean, like, their D-line is really good. Their offensive line's weird because they have way too many guards and not enough tackles. They have one left tackle. So that might be somewhere they want to address, tackle, just to get another true tackle on the roster. But their O-line's solid. I mean, cornerbacks are a weakness. I mean, Carlos Stark picked them apart in the finals, but cornerback's a tough position. There's not many teams with really good ones. That's part of the reason why the K9s are always so dominant. They have had a pair of cornerbacks that have been top 5 in the league. Like, the two cornerbacks being top 5 cornerbacks in the league basically since their existence. So that's how they've dominated, and that's what the Sandstorms kind of are going to need to do to compete with the K9s in that conference. I mean, right now I'd probably give the edge to the K9s over the Sandstorms because of the defense. And because the K9s have more star power. The Sandstorms are they're young. They have the experience now because they had that playoff run. They know what they got to do to win. But it's the star power, and the K9s just have more of it. And in the playoffs, star power is really key. Monarchs' future versus this season. I mean, I think Monarchs are low-key might be the favorite to win it all this year. They had some really key signings by getting two absolutely legendary safeties. They're looking very good. And future, yeah, they're going to Ireland, so that's their future. But there's not much to say about their future. They're pretty set. I mean, eventually they're gonna need to find a Malcolm Leonard Jr. replacement because he's a mobile quarterback. His legs are gonna come out soon, but I think he had 8 combined touchdowns in the first game, and then he had 6 more combined in the next game. He's 11 passing touchdowns on the season already, so he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. But in the future, that's somewhere they're gonna have to address. Get a competent replacement, like how the Carlos Stark just easily transitioned to Drew Pierce. They're gonna need something like that if they want to stay contending in such a top-heavy league. From Cyrus Walker and that family. How good do you think the D League prospects will be? How will it affect the draft? Well, I think it'll affect the draft in really positive ways. Teams will get a better outlook on who they're drafting, and it won't be just let me just draft based on name recognition and cooler names and all that. Because now you can actually have like a real stats to look at, and I think that's gonna be really good for the league and it'll help benefit. Like, it's too much for me to go do all the stats for rookies coming up because I have to do all the stats for the players, and there's like 400 plus players in the league at the moment, if not more. But maybe, I don't know if D League's going to do a combine or not, but that'd be absolutely dope. And because we did a combine for the first draft, and it was really helpful because the first draft was pretty like balanced on where everyone was taken based on their actual overall that I had planned out. And I just did a combine, and that's all apparently I needed. So yeah, I think the D League's gonna be really great, and I hope he stays active for it because it's a great idea, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm already hyped for the D League. I put like 50 players in there. No, I think I put like 10. But there's a lot of players in D League already. I think he had 70 goal, and I think we're already at like 60, so that's a good sign for it to start soon. Canine strength and weaknesses is asked by the Canines, and it's how do they look? They look pretty great. Quarterback is coming back to bite him. I mean, Ubre's had a weird start to the season because he went inactive all of a sudden, and no one knows why. But he's had a rough start to the season. He's on a 1-year prove-it deal. Jacob King's in his final year, so they're going to need a quarterback, and I don't think they have one on the roster. There are rumors they're going to go after Travis Berger of the Chiefs next year, who's had a really nice start to his career. We're going to have to see how he translates into a new scenery. Again, he gets to be the complete star and control the offense on the Chiefs when going to a team like the Canines, much more disciplined team with a lot more star power. We'll have to see how he adapts. But it's going to be interesting for the Berger brothers to basically have a dynasty at one team as a quarterback. So that's going to be definitely fun to see how it works out. And their strength is, I talked on about for cornerbacks, definitely huge for them. Offensive line, running game, that's been their identity since year one. They run the football and then they play good defense. That's how it's always been. Their wide receiver core is low key one of the best in the league with Phil Swift, of course, the legend, and Alan Knight. But they just don't throw the ball as much as most teams because their game has always been ground and pound because that's just what their roster has always been built for. So despite the good receiver core, they don't have the quarterback that would necessarily make it the high-powered, high-flying offense that they could possibly have. So we saw a bit of that when Oubre was in his prime before he got injured. So maybe we'll see that again with Travis Berger at the helm. But yeah, their strength is running the ball and then playing lockdown defense. So that's it for the first set of questions. I'm going to go back to all the way to when I had the first set of questions posted, which I think is here. No, that's not it. Sorry for the delay. Is this it? Yep, first episode of a Deli Podcast. When did I post this? 5 days ago? Yeah, I planned on doing this a while ago. But hopefully we can make this a recurring series. I don't know. I think it'll be pretty fun. Well, we're 11 minutes in right now. I don't know. I feel like this can make the league more interactive. I just want to do whatever to make it better. Because I think it's just going to make, the league more fun, more... I want it to feel more, real. The realism is a key part for me. That I want to make it good. So, playoff predictions. I mean... I don't want to say playoff predictions really because it's me, but I'm not looking at rosters right now, so I have no idea. So I guess I'll try to make playoff predictions. You gotta have the Cotton Pickers and the Monarchs. The Waves probably won't make it anymore. Who else is in that East? I don't know. Those two will make it. The Pandas probably won't make it. They downgraded a lot. Let me check out divisions real quick. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to pull it up. No, I'm going to pull up on my main screen, actually. So, sorry, hold on a second. I hope you can't see this. I don't think you can. I'm not screen recording. So, my playoff predictions would probably have to be Monarchs, Cotton Pickers, probably the Copperheads would make it, and the Shires are 0-2 at the moment, so the Marauders are 1-1. I'll go with the Shires. Yeah, I'll go with the Shires being the 4 seed. They got a pretty solid team. The new owner seems really good. And then the West has all of a sudden become the conference to beat. They already got 4 2-0 teams, but I'm going to give with the Canines, Sandstorms, Dimes, and Missions probably. Those are 4 really solid teams. I mean, by the way, adding to the contender list, I think it would be unfair to not say the Dimes are contender because despite not having the roster depth, they definitely have the star power to win some big playoff games. So yeah, I'll go with those 4: Sandstorms, Missions, Dimes, Canines. That's my playoff predictions. But obviously, I don't know. I'm just talking what I think here. That's definitely not going to be the playoffs, probably. Comments is from Flash DDG, who actually had a huge breakout game in his first game with the Venom. He's led him to a 2-0 start. Most improved watch for sure. And on comments on Flash DDG and how his career will be after the recent trade. So yeah, the change of scenery is huge for him. He was in a quarterback competition with Tatum Turner on the Marauders, which just isn't a good look for 2 young quarterbacks to constantly be fighting against each other. It benefits both of them, and plus Flash didn't really like his coach. So the coach beef was there. The play calling wasn't there for him because the coach didn't like him. So it's just good for him to get a new look, get his own team with a great owner in the right direction. He definitely has a bright future. I mean, I think he was the first quarterback off the board in his class. So, yeah, he has limitless potential. Looks like a Russell Wilson Jr. type player. Maybe can even develop into a Malcolm Leonard Jr.-like player. He's been pretty active, so that's pretty good. Then Damon. I already talked about Damon Hartsoff, so I'll leave him go. Coach of the Year predictions for this year. I mean, Jordan Hines has to be up there for sure. Connor Berger, or who's the head coach of the... Yeah, I think... No, Berger's the assistant, and Wright's the offensive coordinator. Is Zach McCombs the actual K9 guy? Is he the head? Whoever the head of the K9s is up there. The Sandstorms head coach is up there, too. There's not too many head coaches at the moment, but they're all up there because they're all doing a great job. Any team with a staff is doing really well, if you can't tell, as a nice hint for teams not with staffs. And it's not just because they have staffs, it's because the staff actually like benefit and help the team. Like people want to go there because they have staff. So, and their play calling is bettered because of it. Predict who will be the best players in 10 years and also the best team. So I'll probably say the best teams in 10 years will be, I'll put the Sandstorms, the Monarchs, the Canines, and I think by then the Cotton Pickers would have fallen off. I'll say they'll fall off by then. And then I'll give a low-key team in the Marauders. I think they're going in the right direction. And the best player in 10 years. So I'm going to go with probably someone who's not drafted yet, but it'll probably be someone who would be the best in 10 years. I mean, Max Jackson I think is a safe choice because he plays an edge position that people can age better in. It's not like Damon, who's a wide receiver. I mean, even I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name, but the guy the Sparks drafted first overall, he's pretty good. So he's gonna be pretty dope in a few years. He's gonna be pretty dope right now. He's already having a hot start to his career. Who will be the best on the all-decade team for the league? Ooh, that's a good question. That's by Berger. And the last question was by the Sandstorms head coach, by the way. So this is by Berger, the all-decade team. So I'll try to do this off the top of my head. Let me just go to like awards, the All-Pro team for this year. Okay. So quarterback, I would say it's Stark, but it's probably not gonna be Stark because he retired early. So I'll give it to Malcolm Leonard Jr. Running back, it's going to be tough giving it to anyone besides Clint Wright, but I could see Jake Ledbetter sneaking out with it, but I'll go with Clint Wright. Fullback, Alberto Alberts by a long shot. Wide receiver, Rex Butler's got to be up there, and I'll probably have to give it to Ricky Martello because he's been there since the beginning. Tyler Turner for tight ends, a gimme. Clark Marunde and Eric Alberts will probably be the tackles. The guards will probably be, who would the guards be? That is a challenge. Probably Jurek and Kevin Arnett. No, Jurek and Roger Hanna probably. And the center will definitely be Austin Beals. I mean, Bryce Barkowskis is on a really good run, and Big Mike is on a huge run too, but gotta give it to Beals. He's been there for longer. Defensive ends, because it's weird because we have edge positions in this league, which is normal, but, most people don't consider it normal. Chris Smith has got to be on there. Gawk Shelby, defensive end. Then we got Eddie Alberts as a DT, for sure. Sorry for that, my mic cut out. I probably have Chris Smith, Gawk Shelby as my end. My DTs would probably be Eddie Alberts and I guess we'll play a 3-4 to make it easy. Eddie Alberts is the DT, the lone DT. The edge rushers would probably be Xander Kane and Jesus O'Daygold. I mean, Max Jackson Jordan at a weird point. He'd obviously be on here in a few years, at least it seems. Jack Griffin too, but he's just not. He hasn't played in the league for long enough. Then I guess I have to have two inside linebackers, and probably be Colton Berger for sure. And then, David Long Jr. has had such a good run so far, but again, he hasn't been in the league for that long. But I think he has good enough numbers. I mean, Luke Tyndale and Aaron Judge are really close. But I think I would go with those guys. At cornerback, Dominic King has been absolute animal since joining the league. But I think I'd have to give it to Tanner Panda and Jackson Shelby III. Even Josh Alexander would be close because of his dominance at the beginning, but then he deleted his account, so then he sucked recently. But so he was so good at the beginning. Those would be your guys. At safety, Paul Alberts III is a gimme, and Pat Bob Spongenstar, the monster himself, kind of has to be on there. Kicker, Fred Smith. He's only played one less year than Reed Shelby, and he's had a much better career. But I think I'd give it to Shelby because Shelby has some key kicks in the playoffs that Fred Smith just doesn't have playoff success, and Shelby obviously for the Cotton Pickers does. And punter, Hugh Alberts by a long shot. He's been the longest lasting punter in the league. He's been the best punter in the league basically since Jay Swoosh came into the league a few years ago. So, that's probably it. And return specialist, Ricky Martello, if that is a other position. But does that mean I have to give another wide receiver? Because then the other wide receiver would probably be, I mean, second draft class at Eli Davis the third, but no, the second it would be Allen Knight would be the other wide receiver in that case. So it would be the ex Copperhead duo in year one, would be the Killers together. So, the next question is Deli Fantasy Football from Tyler Denlinger. That'd be a dope idea, but I don't think I would be able to run it because I'm kind of busy. But if anyone would want to run it, that'd be pretty cool. So, that's something. Yeah, I used to do fantasy football predictions like their rankings, and that was back when Kyron Holmes was the god. So you gotta fit for the young guys. I had Holmes won like every year, like 3 years I did it. He was never that good. I mean, he was always pick happy, but good fantasy wise. So have a Hall of Famer be a league out analysis. That'd be dope if one of the Hall of Famers wants to make like a league page. It doesn't have to be like even an ESPN or a Bleacher Report. It could just be like Hall of Famer league, I guess. I don't know. But it would be a really good idea, and I'd be all for it. I'd help advertise as much as possible. And then possible Rookie of the Year candidates is by Max Jackson. This was at the end of last year, but because, that's already happened, I'll do possible Rookie of the Year candidates this year. And so let me go to the class real quick. So Defensive Rookie of the Year, I mean, it's probably going to be the guy with no one pick. Again, not going to really try to say his name. That's a challenge that I'm not willing to take on. You know what? I will take it on. It's Nakamokan Jabadigo. Yeah. He's got to be up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's probably not going to be an offensive lineman, even though they're pretty key in this draft. Herschel Walker would be primed to take it. I mean, Cuerto maybe. Des Walker's playing in the D League. Who else was drafted high? Jared Parisi or Travis Taylor, but one of those two will probably win Rookie of the Year because I like to give it to a quarterback to keep it like based on the NFL, which almost always gives it to a quarterback. But so for Rookie of the Year, I think I'd give it to Parisi of the Waves. He just has better targets. He's just as good as Travis Taylor, but he seems like he's going to be more active. I don't know. It depends on who's more active, to be fair. They both have pretty good situations, but they just traded Kayvon Carter to the Shires, so that's going to make it a little tougher on Taylor. So, is that the last question? I have to go back to it because I was looking at the draft class. Sorry about this. Where'd it go? I swear it disappeared. Oh. Alright, that's it. I'll just double check that no one added anything to the first one because I don't want to miss anyone's questions. Nope, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first Deli podcast. I think it turned out pretty well. There's still a lot more Carlos Stark rebuilding. So I said I'd do Clinton Wright or Connor Berger next time. I think I'll just finish off this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're interested in this. Like if you're interested in this. Comment ways I can make this type of podcast better. And comment if you want to see this again. I'm just trying to start this. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And peace. And good luck in your Deli League ventures.